everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. You're cooking with Kathy. Today we're going to make a fun recipe and I hope you're going to love it as much as we do. And it is an icebox fruit cake. So don't let the word fruit cake scare you away, because this is a different twist on a fruit cake, and I think you're going to love this one as much as I do. I'm not one that likes the traditional fruit cakes. I always find them to be bitter, but this one's not. It has a lot of sweetness. It's very nutty. The only thing that would bother you is if you have a nut allergy, you probably would not be able to enjoy this. But I have everything here on my counter and we are ready to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to turn you down about like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I crush them. I'm going to grab a gallon Ziploc bag, and yeah, I have a food processor and that would probably be the easier way to do this. But I'm going to grab my big old rolling pin, and this is a Pampered, I got flour on it, surprise. But I'm going to crush these up using this. And the reason I like to do it like that, I bought a box of the crumbs, and you can use those. I decided to save these for my cheesecake, and I'm going to do these just a regular box of Honey Made graham crackers. These are not the cinnamon, they're just the regular graham crackers. And they are delicious. I keep checking to make sure my camera is recording because I've had some issues with that not working. But I am going to dump all of this stuff into all of these crackers into my bag. And I'm going to take out a little bit of frustration. I'll tell you what, let's do 2 and then we'll put that last one in. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to close it up. You want to make sure you got that good and closed. And then I'm just going to start crushing like this. And then I'm going to take my rolling pin and I'm going to do this number. You're wondering, what are you doing? But we're going to crumb these up like this. And if you want to, you can roll your rolling pin. You know what? I got a hole in my bag. Look at that. Yep, and then popped a hole in my bag, y'all. All right, so I'm going to go like this and try to get off because I don't want to get my ring skunked up in that stuff. I just cleaned my wedding ring earlier today. The last thing I want to do is get it gooped up with all of the fixings for this. I'm going to go in and just take my fingers. My hands are clean, and I'm going to just continue to beat those up. And I'm going to get another bag. I guess I need to be more careful with my bag, but I'm going to grab another one. And these are supposed to be the good ones. You know, there's Ziploc. Normally I have, well, it depends. If I catch them on sale at Costco, I'll get the Ziploc brand. And if I don't catch them on sale, I'll get the Walmart brand or the ones they sell at Aldi. I don't know if y'all have an Aldi where you live, but I get a lot of my products from Aldi because they have really good products and at a really good price. I love their produce, and their cheeses are some of my favorites. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to try to break them up as best I can, like this. Maybe I won't go quite as aggressive with the rolling pin, but I'm going to go ahead and get these all broke up, and then we're going to work on doing our nuts and the rest of our fruit, and then I'll show you we're going to use this sweetened condensed milk to bring this all together. So that's going to be, we've got some maraschino cherries, I have chopped walnuts, chopped pecans, sweetened coconut flakes. I've got some dried pineapple, some raisins, some miniature marshmallows, and I do have this little container of the fruitcake mix. And this looks really yummy, and we're going to put some of that in there to give it that fruitcake look. So let me finish getting these done, and we will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, here's my crumbs. I hope you can see those. And the second ones I did, I think I got them a little bit better than I did the first 2. I should have just done one at a time, but I'm going to still continue to work these and like just like that. You know, they do crumb fairly easy. And for my nuts, I decided, even though I got chopped walnuts and chopped pecans, they're still in pretty good sized pieces. I mean, look at those. Those are pretty much like whole nut pieces. So I brought in the help of my little tool here, and this little tool is wonderful because it's basically a food processor. And I am going to take it apart, and I'm going to put about a cup of pecans. Let me grab a measuring cup. I think this one will work. This one I've wore the numbers completely off of it, but you know what? We're guesstimating, and I know this is a 1 cup, so I'm going to put about that many walnuts. And I'm going to put this on. This is going to be really, really super noisy, so I may just cut the noise out when I edit this. But here we go. I'm going to push in my little hole button here, and here we go. And I think that's going to give me just about what I want. That gives me a nice fine dice, so I'm going to dump those in. And then I'm going to just put that blade right back in there, and I'm going to do the same thing with the pecans. I'm going to fill up my cup. I mean, I don't know how they can call those chopped when they're that big a piece, but I tried to get the chops so I wouldn't have to do this. But anyway, they just don't look like they're chopped as well as I like them. So here we go again. I'm going to hold in the top button because it has a safety feature on it. You have to hold in one and push the other one. And I think that's pretty good with those. So that is our nuts. So I'm going to put those in like that. I'm going to leave this sitting over here to the side in case we need it for something else. It's not bothering me a bit. All right, here's our bowl. And so far we've got the nuts and the crumbs in here. So we need about a cup of raisins. So I've got a cup of regular, these are the Sun-Maid raisins. I've got this dried pineapple that I want to put in it. But I want to chop this up a little bit. So I'm going to grab my cutting board. And let's bring this over. And I'm going to put about, you know, there's not many in here. We'd buy this because we love to eat it. So I'm just, yes, and I'm eating. I'm sorry. I'm going to grab a knife. And I want to cut these up. I want everything to be in nice little bite-sized pieces. So that's why I'm cutting them up like this. And I think this will be a nice additive to this Icebox Fruit Cake. Okay, those are looking good. All right, I'm going to get my bench press that I can scoop everything up with. That makes it so much easier to get everything in your bowl. So that goes in the bowl. And then for my coconut, let's do our coconut because we need about a cup of coconut as well. So I'm glad I brought my little handy kitchen scissors over here. So sometimes these bags are supposed to have a tear on them, but if you're like me, you get them a lot of times and they don't. So I'm going to put about a cup, and I'm going to set my bowl right here in case I spill it. It'll just be a little extra coconut, and that's not a bad thing. And you know, if you got a family that doesn't like coconut, you can leave that out. My husband loves anything that's a tropical fruit. Well, my husband loves fruit, period. But anyway, we got that in. The next thing that I want to put in is I want to do about half of this container. And this container is 16 ounces. So I'm going to, let's just say a half a cup. Let me grab a measuring cup. And I have a half a cup measuring cup. So I'm just going to take this and go in and get about that much. It looks like a little bit more, but like I said, this is not exact science. This is just kind of putting it together as you go. Now I'm going to rinse my fingers off because they're very sticky. They're going to get stickier before this is all said and done. I will tell you that. So we have not even scratched the surface yet. So I'm going to grab one of my big wooden spoons and I'm going to just start working all of this together just so that I get everything combined as best as we can. It looks so pretty. It's already, and it smells so good. It's hard to believe that these dry ingredients has this much aroma, but they really do. Now the next thing that I need to do is I need to take my cherries. You know what? I need that smaller jar, I think. You know what? We're going to go with this one. I am going to drain my cherries. So I'm going to grab another container and I'm going to grab one of my little sieves. I might need a bigger one. Let's try that. I'm going to pour this right in the middle. Something like that. I'm going to let those cherries drain. I'm going to save my jar though, because if I have to put some back in there, I can. And I'm going to take some of these cherries and I'm going to lay them here on my board. Oh, they smell so good. Who doesn't love a maraschino cherry? They're so sweet and so good. I'm going to take about that many. And I'm going to do the same thing with these as I did with the pineapple. I'm just going to chop them up. Look how juicy they are. And just chop them away. Oh, they look so good. They smell so good. Oh, this is when I wish you could smell what I was doing. I think you would love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm just going to continue to cut these up like that. And again, I'm going to grab my food scoop. I'm going to bring my bowl over here. I don't think you can see it because it's out of the range of the camera, but I am going to pick these up with that and just dump them in. Just like that. Get that juice and everything because there's flavor in that. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and rinse my hands because I am all kinds of sticky. And then I am going to wipe off my board, my bowl. I made a mess. You know, you're not really cooking unless you're making a mess, right? So I would say that I am really cooking. I like to clean my board. I don't like to leave it dirty. So we have gotten everything in there now except our marshmallows. So I am going to take out about 1.5 to 2 cups of mini marshmallows. Give or take. And I'm going to dump those in. And now we're going to stir up our marshmallows. The ones that are kind of gooped together, let's separate them a little bit. Get this all mixed. And then I'm going to go and open up my can of sweetened condensed milk. You know, I'm throwing this stuff everywhere. And we're going to pour that milk in here, and then we are going to have to get in there with our hands and really work this in. Now my hands are really good and clean, so I'm not, I'm not putting or contaminating my goods. And I've got this beautiful cherry juice over here that we're going to use a little bit of it along with our sweetened condensed milk. So let me run this over to my can opener and open it. I know the other day when I opened a can of pineapple, a lot of people was really concerned because I had the sharp edge of my can because it was one of those pull lids. My can opener cuts around the outside edges, and I don't get that same issue because it cuts the lid off from around here. So I don't usually have to worry about my lids. But I assure you it was disposed of properly, and so no need to be concerned about me making a mess or causing a problem. I'm getting me a little spatula so I can get in here and pull out all of this yummy sweetened condensed milk. Oh, so yummy. Oh, it looks so good. Doesn't that look yummy? I mean, if it's got sweetened condensed milk in it, it cannot be bad, right? That's what I say. This stuff is to die for. And you can make your own coffee creamer with using this. You mix this with your half and half and add your flavoring, and you can make your own coffee creamer that you spend bukus of money for at the grocery store. All right, I think we got it all. So I'm going to set that over there. I'm going to take this spoon and I'm going to put it here in my cup. Like that. I still got a little bit here on my finger. Let's see if we can get that off. I don't think it matters. I'm going in with both hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from the bottom and I'm just going to pull everything up into that condensed milk. And I'm going to turn my bowl as I go, making sure that I get it. Now this is going to give you quite a workout. So be ready for it. If you make this, you're going to need some strength in your hands, or you're going to need a nice strong man to do it for you. And mine's not here right now. Some people put on gloves to do this. I would lose the plastic glove in the mix if I did it with plastic gloves. So I don't. I just go make sure my hands are good and clean, and I go in like this. And this is feeling really, really good. And look at that. Look how pretty it is. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm just going to keep working it. Make sure you don't have anything left dry in there. That's what you're trying to do. Anything that's dry, you want to pull it in and get it moistened in with that milk. And this could be where, if you saw the need for it, you could pull in a little bit of that cherry juice. Mine's looking really good, so I don't know that I'm even going to need it other than for the flavor. I might just put a little tiny bit in here, a little drizzle, like that, just to give it some more flavor, as though it doesn't already have enough. It's so good. Look at that. Now that I've got it pretty much together, all I got to do is grab me a pan, whatever you want to mold it into. Most people say a 9 by 13. You could do 2 loaf pans if you wanted to. This would be great in a loaf pan. I'm going to use some parchment paper or wax paper to put in to make it easier to pull out. And I think I am going to use loaf pans. My husband likes it in little loaves where he can slice him a slice of it. So I think that's the way I'm going to do mine. I've seen people use a bundt pan, tube cake pans, all kinds of pans. So I'm going to get as much of this off of my hands. You can see how sticky. It's quite a sticky mess. So get as much of it off of my hands as I can because I don't want to waste any of it. And I'm going to go over here and give my hands a good wash. Okay, a couple paper towels. I'm going to go get my pan and prep it with my parchment paper or my other paper. And when we come back, we will be ready to get this in the pan, and it will be ready for us to put in the refrigerator, and it will sit up in there for quite a bit. And then when we get ready to cut it, I'll definitely show you what it looks like. But let me go grab my pan, and I'll be right back. All right, we are back, and what I did, I've gotten one pan prepared, and let me turn you down so you can see. Make sure y'all are seeing everything. And you can see I put parchment paper in it and I greased it with some butter. And I'm going to take about half of this mixture and I'm just going to plop it in like that. Get another little bit to go right here. And then I'm going to go in with my fingers and I did make a mess. Y'all know I do. I'm going to just go in and flatten this in. And I'm kind of turning that parchment paper a little bit so that it's going in there nice and flat. And you want to pat this down as tight as you can possibly get it. And see, I can probably get some more in there. That's the reason I only did one pan, because I wasn't sure. I'm pretty sure I'll have enough for another one, but I wanted to see how far this was going to go before I did any further. So I'm just going to mash this in as nice and tight as I can get it and just keep mashing. And you can see that parchment paper is going to give us a nice way to lift this out of the pan when we get ready to serve it, which is fantastic. So again, I'm just going to keep mashing. The first time I ever had Icebox Fruit Cake, I'd never heard of it. And I was fairly a young bride or a young mother. And one of my sister-in-laws, when I say one of my sister-in-laws, my husband, this was my first husband, and he came from a family of 10 children, and there was only 2 boys, so he had 8 sisters, which meant I had 8 sister-in-laws. And one of his sister-in-laws made Icebox Fruit Cake, and I remember her giving me a piece of it, and I thought it was the best stuff ever. Little did I know that this was a tradition that people have been making for years. Now that looks really good. I think that is perfect. And I think I do have enough to do one more. So I'm going to get that ready and then we will come back together in just a minute. I need to rinse my hands again. I can't even stop the camera while I got all this stuff on my hands because I don't want to touch my phone. I know that sounds horrible, but that is pretty much the size of it. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to prep this pan, and we're going to get this one in. We'll have 2 pans of Icebox Fruit Cake, so we'll have one to enjoy and one to share, which is always nice. So I'll be right back. All right, I got 2 really good size fruit cakes from this recipe. I will have all the ingredients and the measurements that I used down in the description below. It will be a printable PDF tutorial like most of my videos are. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to fold my parchment paper over on it like that, and I'm going to wrap each one of these up with some foil. And then I am going to put those, I have a reserve refrigerator in my garage that handles my overflow, because I don't know if they make in refrigerators smaller these days. I have a really nice Samsung French door with a freezer in the bottom and then a deli meat drawer, and then it opens up to this wide, but I never have room in it. I always have to go out to the one in the garage. Maybe it's a sign of having too much food, but I'll just consider that a blessing from the good Lord above. I'm going to wrap these up in Reynolds wrap, so let me grab my Reynolds wrap. I'll show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to use the extra heavy and the wide, and I'm going to tear off a piece about yay big. There's one here. Then I'm going to take one and I'm going to sit it right in the middle because I like to wrap the entire thing. So I'm going to bring it up on both sides and I'm going to fold it down on the top to get a really good seal, and then tuck it under, and then this is going to go in my refrigerator, and I'll be ready for those to sit up for 2 or 3 days. And here, you know, we're less than a week from Christmas, so we want to enjoy some of these goodies before Christmas so that we can, you know, really just celebrate the holiday season with good food, things that we only get like, you know, once a year. And I'm going to be making my Christmas crack. And I do make mine a little bit different than most people do, because most people use saltine crackers, and I like to use club crackers and make my little toffee. But I don't put nuts on it. I use the little Heath toffee bits to go on mine, and lots of chocolate chips, so it's going to be delicious. Let me bring y'all back up. So I just want to thank you so much for being here today. I hope you've enjoyed this Icebox Fruit Cake recipe that we threw together. And we literally did throw it together. So I just want you to know that I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. My camera is so crooked. There we go. Straighten me up just a little bit. I just love you guys so much. I want to thank you and thank you and thank you for being here, for supporting my YouTube channel, whether it be crafting or cooking. You're always here with me. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring honor and glory to our Savior, Jesus. He is worthy and He is the reason for the season. Until we cook or craft again, take care. Know that I love you guys very, very much. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.